Thank you for coming. The reason why I've gathered you all here today is to discuss a topic that I hope we're all discussing, and that's whether or not felons should have the right to vote. Our proposed policy change is as follows. Upon conviction of a felony, the right to vote should be permanently withdrawn. Though the 14th Amendment already allows each state to withdraw felons' voting rights, our policy will create a nationwide standard of eligible voters and will disallow the current sporadic and inconsistent policies that vary state to state. So there's a term that might fly, and I want to make sure you guys know the definition of it, all right? And that's felony disenfranchisement. It's the exclusion from voting of people otherwise eligible to vote due to conviction of criminal offense, usually restricted to a more serious class of crimes, and that's felonies. So the significance of this is that we as a community can't trust the judgments of those who don't respect our laws that we've already voted on. Roger Clegg, the current president and general counsel of the Center for Equal Opportunity, comments, as found on the Center for Equal Opportunity's website, is it too much to demand that those who would make the laws for others be willing to follow those laws themselves? In short, a person who makes the law should not break the law. But this is America, right? We let everybody vote. Not true. Again, according to Roger Clegg, off of the Center for Equal Opportunity's website, America also denies the right to children, non-citizens, and mentally incompetent because they, like felons, fail to meet objective minimal standards of responsibility, trustworthiness, and a commitment to our laws that we require of those who want to participate in the government, not only of themselves, but also of their fellow Americans. We care about the quality of our voters, the same way we care about our community's established laws. If we trusted these felons and found them to meet our standards, why lock them up in the first place? Now, our inherency claim aims to expose the flaws of the current policy, and these policies diminish your rights as Americans, as well as dilute the value of the law-abiding Americans' opinions. The current policies diminish these rights of law-abiding citizens by granting felons the same power. Is it fair that somebody who breaks the law to be held to the same standards of our veterans or our hardworking activists? Now, they harm society. Peter Diamond writes in his article titled, "Should Felons Have the Right to Vote?" published October 2015, felons commit crimes that involve an injustice to another party as well as the entire society. There are consequences for those that violate the rights of others. Not allowing them to vote shows a clear consequence for their action. I believe that the current policies discourage responsible non-felon voters from even participating in the process. We recently had a change in this country's leadership and policies. Let me tell you, we also had a voter turnout dip to nearly its lowest point in 2 decades. People who are eligible, they're not voting. An article updated by Herman Lopez on Vox.com states that according to the US Elections Project, only about 56.9% of voting eligible population cast a ballot on election day. Now that means that 43.1% of people eligible to vote just didn't. Disallowing felons to vote could re-invoke civic responsibility and patriotism to those of us whom have not stooped to the level of disrespecting our laws. For solvency, our vision of the former policy will not only help to unite our nation under a clear and fair standard of voter eligibility, but help our local communities by creating an additional deterrent of crime and create additional resources to be put to better uses. It's too costly and time-consuming. As found on the National Conference of State Legislators website, even in states where ex-offenders automatically retain the right to vote upon completion of their sentence, this process of re-registering to vote often is difficult. It involves lengthy paperwork, burdensome documentation, and the involvement and coordination of several state agencies. Freeing these hardworking state workers of the burdens of these criminals would allow them to focus on more important issues that require their attention. Reallocation of resources could even benefit the felons themselves by adding additional funding to aid in their attempted correction. while incarcerated. The current process in place is a clear misplacement of funding. This established policy will help to deter crime. Valerie Wright, PhD, writes in her report on deterrence in criminal justice, released November 2010, that punishment may be expected to affect deterrence. The severity of punishment may influence behavior if potential offenders weigh the consequences of their actions and conclude that the risks of punishment are too severe. If these potential offenders deem their ability to vote valuable, then they won't commit a crime that would withdraw those privileges.